Crimechurch by Michael Botur, read by the author. Mona, Chapter 2. Court sucks. First I have to catch a bus and it stops at the terminal off Colombo Street, which is like nowhere near court, and I have to go through an x-ray machine with these angry looking security gorillas frowning down on me, and of course the metal hoops on my dress set off the metal detector, and I have to go into this private room with this dykey lady who probes me, and she's not interested in my fudge in my handbag. Phew, that's a relief. And she finally finds out that the thing setting off the alarm each time I go through the x-ray is my labia piercing. And by the time she lets me go, I'm like so late for Marty's appearance, and I have like no clue which courtroom is in. And there are all these feet to step over, and there's a whole waiting room that's just people wearing red, and then the other waiting rooms are blue colours. Where does a girl like me who's not clicked up even go? So I try to ask this Harris gang lady in a hockey jersey breastfeeding a bubba, and she tells me to fuck off before I get curb stomped. And it's like, cheers, lady. God, court majorly sucks in Christchurch. So in the waiting room, I spot a few people that I know, not that I want to sit beside them. There's that chalk-skinned blonde boy with the long hair and the glasses who's always in the press. He's cleared part of the waiting room to practice his karate moves on his sidekick boy, Sean, I think the boy's called. And then there's this big, thick, gold-coloured man with shoulders blending into his shiny shaved skull like Hunchback of Notre Dame, my favourite movie. That guy, well, he's walking laps with a dude in a long-sleeved black hard and fast shirt, going around and around the chairs, doing negotiations. Have you ever noticed with court, it's like people come here to make crime, not to clear it up? You ever notice that? Me, I'm real nervous waiting for courtroom 8 to open. I'm standing against the wall and clutching my handbag. And then I get the guts to open a Lister magazine in my palm, and I pour my THC TLC love fudge onto it. You know why? It's because I want there to be enough for everyone. So what I do is I pinch a few cubes of fudge in half and I offer them round. Firstly to the mums jiggling their babies. And once the girls are taken care of, I give the last couple of bits of fudge to the streetie wearing like 3 jerseys. I want court to suck a little bit less for my people. That fudge, it warms the streetie guy up. And he grabs my shoulders, he squishes his forehead onto mine, and he presses a hongi kiss onto my face. Gives me a blessing in Maori language that tickles my heart. You know, it reminds me of my dad. The way the Maori man, the way his warm flat nose bends when it mushes against my face. 'Cause he knows I hang out in a white world, but I'm a Maori girl. So I need some maratanga to clean me while I'm dripping with shame, because I've been getting us gear from Shayna, because without Marty I can't take the itchy throat. And to pay her, I've been dressing in my sluttiest gear, just a couple of nights a week, never more than 5 nights, and I've been, wobbling in my heels along Manchester like a normal girl till I find the other ladies, and obviously I have to take a couple of slaps and punches from the seniors, and then I have to fix my makeup in the public toilets with droplets of poop drying on the stainless steel mirror, and then I have to trot back to work leaning into the windows of laughing country boys in their cars trying to sell for $50 every half an hour, because honestly, how else is a person supposed to pay Shayna back? You borrow off Shayna, it's one hard bank. So anyway, I finally make it into courtroom 8 just as Marty has been pushed into the dock, and they're closing the wooden cage around his waist and they're locking him in front of the judge. I stumble and I squeeze and I wince past all these knees to find me a free seat in the gallery. I mouth over to him, "Love you, baby." But Marty's too concentrated on the judge to even notice me. Hopefully God will tell him to look over me. I think of these words that Marty texted me last week from the words came from some Sandman guy from one of his comic books that he thinks is all important. Not that he even calls them comic books, they're graphic novels, of course. Marty was baked when he messaged me, of course. Marty is always baked, but it was still beautiful. Know what he said to me? He said, "Our revenge will be the laughter of our children," he wrote. And I was like, that's nice, Mart. How'd you text me? Where'd you get the cell phone from? Up some guy's dirty bumhole? Anyway, "Our revenge will be the laughter of our children." It's a quote from this like Bobby Sands guy. I don't even know who that is. Sandman, Bobby Sands, whatever. Anyway, court honestly sucks. And I am going to change it. God, if you're listening, that is a promise from Mona, Anahera, Takitimu. So anyway, this African girl with real pretty braids called Niobe Guizo, she's representing Marty, and he stands blinking in his box looking dazed, trying to figure out what he's done wrong. You know, Niobe Guizo, she rang me up yesterday to tell me to come to this court and support Marty, because it turns out he's been on remand and he's already appeared in court a few times and we're up to sentencing already. And I was like, what the fuck? How come no one told me he's going to get sentenced? And the lawyer was like, "I wrote to you several times." And I was like, oh, my bad. I was away on tour for, NZ Girls for like 2 weeks, and it's not something you exactly brag about. Plus, I didn't want to go home because Shayna's been dogging me. She got me to tell her tons of nice stuff about Marty over the phone so she could write it down as a submission to the court to try to get him home D instead of jail. And I told Fancy Pants lawyer Niobe Guizo about my red panda plush and our trip to Willowbank and how he helps me with my homework and he's always singing to me and reading me romantic revolutionary bits out of his books, and he massages my shoulders, and Marty helps me with my spelling, and he texts my dad when I'm too weepy, and he, you know what, kind of thing. The best thing about Marty, bestest thing about Marty is he gives me the first hit after he's got the pipe warmed up, and he tells me that we're going to make beautiful babies someday, and I even half believe him. So anyway, Niobe said thanks for that, but I could tell she'd stopped listening. So right now, since they're trying to do Marty over on a charge of possessing a Class B prohibited substance with intent to supply, right now I'm hoping Niobe Guizo has found some people to say good shit about him, like maybe his dad, since his dad is in Probus Club. Niobe asked permission to read a statement to the court. Go, Marty, go, I think to myself, and I shiver, tiny weeny teensy bit horny. My baby boy smashing the system, my freedom fighter. My client has asked me to recite the following, Niobe Guizo says in her accent, adjusting her glasses, and I quote here, I think drugs have done some good things, and if you don't agree, I want you to do me a favor. Niobe looks around the courtroom to check if people are going to tell her to shut up or not. Nobody does, so she clears her throat and she continues. Marty's hands are coupled over his crotch. He's wearing his dicky shirt buttoned up to his chin. As Niobe reads his mantra thingy, he nods so hard that a dreadlock slips loose from the rubber band holding his dreads back in a ponytail, and the single dreadlock swings over his eyes. I read from my client's statement here. Go home tonight, take all your albums, all your tapes, all your CDs and burn them, because you know the musicians that made all that great music that's enhanced your lives throughout the years were really expletive, really high on drugs, Your Honor. Marty starts clapping. Then he makes eye contact with an unimpressed looking guard, and he stops and knits his hands again. My client tells me he used a limited amount of prohibited substance for personal uses. He has asked me to describe him as a prisoner of his convictions, Your Honor. Niobe tells the judge. Let us not make him a prisoner of Her Majesty the Queen. Thank you. I wave to my boy. Soon as his eyes meet mine, my lips and my chin melt, and my mouth goes all swirly, dribbling down onto my neck. There's some talk from the cop who sits at the front and only looks forward, and then the judge talks over Niobe till she gets shamed out and sits back in a chair. Suddenly the judges go, "Not convincing in the slightest, I'm afraid. Martin Bezuidenhout, I am sentencing you hereby to 8 months imprisonment and placing you under the custody of the Department of Corrections. I understand there is counseling available, both of the pharmacological persuasion and psychological. I trust I will not see you back again." Total fucking Mirabelle snobby. Ugh. So Marty sticks up some fist symbol from Rage Against the Machine, and they lead him away. Marty is gone, and some random-ass Southland ginger is in the dock now, and Niobe Guizzo, a court-appointed lawyer, is packing my man's life into a box of paperwork. So I have this, young entrepreneurs club to go to after court. I guess that cheers me up a teensy bit. My dad and Mr. Chambers hooked it up for me, and once again I need Dad's $100 a month, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go to Young Entrepreneurs Club, YEC, yeah, whatever, because I'm going to start afresh, that's why. Independent girl, just like Beyonce. Maybe. YEC is at this thing. Well, okay, not this thing, this institution. It's at Rangiroa Girls' School. Yeah, where all the snobs go. Where no one from Mariha has literally ever stepped into. The Ministry of Youth Development or something pays the council to get young people into business, which is, I guess it's dope, because I'm thinking I can make THC, TLC big time and get, shareholders onto the stock market and stuff. So YEC meets in this fancy building in the middle of town, high up with views of Oxford Terrace and the river and the swans and the willow trees, and we all sit on beanbags in a circle while this happy, clappy, yellow-haired guy in a skivvy named Christian runs the gathering. He looks like the Wiggles, this guy, and he even wears a skivvy. Oh no. Most of the girls in the room, they turn out to be snobs from Avonside and shit. And you can tell from their Siamese twin last names written under attendance on the board. This one girl is called, her last name is Trezevant Miller, and another is Trevor Roper. Mine's the only Maori name on the board, and it's cringe. They're all wanting to start up a business selling cutesy precious stuff, because this one girl is getting a website for her scented candles, and this other girl makes dream catchers, and she brings one out and la la la, dazzles everyone with it, and they all gasp, ah. Yeah, I know, right? So finally the ball that you have to hold when you want to speak comes around to me. Sup everyone? I begin, pulling my head down into my body like a turtle. So, I'm Mona and stuff, Mona Takitimu. I work with a lot of clients, but I'm here today to learn how to expand this. Voila! I pull a packet of love fudge out of my handbag and I hold it out, and people pass it around. Christian the Christian gets the packet, opens it, and he takes a deep sniff of my love fudge. And he says, ooh, and he does a delighted shiver. This is fruity, I'm entranced, may we? I nod like one of those bobble-headed dogs in my dad's car, and hot blood scorches my face because people are loving my samples, honest. And I'm like, thank you, Lord Jesus. Everybody gets handed a small chewy cube and they munch, and I think I might actually be in with a grin. Oh, by the way, one of the girls asks, what kind of clients do you work with? Are we talking about modelling? Her name's Letitia and her business is called Tweens for Tanzania. It's about fundraising to build houses in the slums of Jerusalem or some city that sounds like it's off SpongeBob. How do you mean? Are my clients models? My clients are mostly old men that are lonely, I tell her. I don't get it. She's like she doesn't know what a client is. Christian chooses fudge. His eyes glow with interest. Darling, you're a personal trainer of some sort, I take it, Mona? No, I'm like an escort, I tell them. I don't have a business card or anything, but if you need advice or anything on how to be an escort, I start pointing out the window to the street. I'm on New Zealand Girls. That's got all my D's. If you want to find out. Everyone's looking confused. I need to piss badly, and I need to put moisturizer on my burning cheeks. Everyone's eyes are cooking me. I seriously don't belong here. Letitia takes the goo out of her mouth and holds it away. What's in this fudge? There's caramel, there's milk, there's lots of sugar, there's thickening agent, there's THC butter. Letitia and all of her friends turn to Christian the Christian. Everyone in the room against me. It's obvious I need to leave. My place is not here.